right before I joined Manulife, I had my own business of aquaculture here in Argao.
Oh, interesting. And you know, I think some of us were wondering, my profession is this, graduate ako na ganito, might be easier for a banker kasi nasa financial service. How was the transition for you, Miss L? Since you are in a bank, was it a smooth transition? Kasi
First and foremost, I'm counting the money that is not mine in the bank.
Okay.
Here, I'm counting my own money.
Oh, you know difference. That's one of the glaring difference.
In the bank, I work from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m.
Ooh.
I open the bank. I'm the bank manager,
Uh-huh.
but fortunately, I'm also the guard.
So you open and close at the
Open
same
and
time?
close, yeah, at the same time.
Oh.
So in the bank, my income does not bring me home. While here, I used to be a part-time here in Manulife.
Okay.
But my part-time income gives me a part-time job as a agent of Manulife gives me full-time income.
Wow.
So that's the reason.
So it was no-brainer.
I
Shit
leave.
talaga.
Leave good, ha?
Leave good.
3 months after, I resigned from the bank and joined Manulife.
So you started as part-time, and then 3 months when you later discovered that your payout, your take-home pay in the bank would not take you home,
Yes.
you decided to join Manulife.
I compare notes. I chased the waters first. That's the reason I came here as a part-time agent. And then I told myself, if the Manulife can give me such amount, I for sure would like to change career. So
Yes.
after 3 part-time months, it delivers as if my 1 year salary in the bank.
Wow, wonderful. So your hard work really paid off. You know, it's not easy to be a teacher. It requires for you to really invest on people and believe in the future because the children are the future. So this is, so the song says. And I'm pretty sure there's a drive why you want to be an educator. But why shift the career from an educator to this? What drive you?
Sir Mac, I was on my 4th to 5th month sa Manulife that I was able to invite my parents into a fancy dinner in a fancy restaurant. And they were like, ha, nga naman, unsay celebration, nga na invite man ka. And then I said, wala lang, because I can afford man ma. And then after that, I brought my mother into a shopping spree and that she was able to choose whatever she likes. Now, for her birthday, siya, sure ka, seryoso ka, imong gibuhat na kulbaan man sa ko nimo. And then I said, Ma, it's okay. Just choose because I can afford. And on my birthday sa akong papa, Sir Mac, I brought the whole family of 10, akong mga siblings, hasta ilang kauyaban, no, giapil in a buffet restaurant. And my father was so happy. And he was so thankful. And never in my past 10 years of being an employee was I ever to do that. And then by that time, I was like, I'm gonna do this. I see myself doing this until I retire.
Wow.
And so, from a teacher, here I am.
Yeah, because I think if I were to really understand it, you don't really do differently because you're also teaching Filipinos how to help themselves, right?
That is
So
correct,
the
sir.
passion of teaching is still there.
Yes, actually, Sir Mac, it was a bit of a challenge for me because I never had sales background. So at first, murag ang ako ra yung ipangita ato kay extra income ragid, side hustle ragid. And I thought nga, siguro mag-ESL teacher na lang ko kay still teaching, di ba? But it was difficult, like fixed time ko 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. sa DepEd niya. Ang schedule sa ESL 7 p.m. to 12 midnight. So nana ko kaluoy na ba sa akong self. So I was looking for something na free ra ko if dili kayo busy sa work, makakudkud ko sa akong side hustle.
Good.
Yes. And so nana ko, sige na lang, uy, bisag wa ko experience sa sales. Just a try. I just wanted some extra.
Okay, and that extra led you to now, like,
Yes.
all right. And it's easy for, you know, we were all trained, I think, growing up, eskwela para makatrabaho ka. I think that's always been the preach, no, of our parents, our grandparents. But for you, on the other hand, Jo, is that you were in business already. So it was not foreign to you to do Manulife because you already are in business. You mentioned earlier that you were in aquaculture business. Was the transition easy? What were the challenges in the traditional business and this type of business? Maybe some businessman out there would like to know.
Yeah, that's a very good question, and I'd like to answer that with a very short story of my, let's say, quote-unquote, conversion to join Manulife. When I was working for a very successful businessman here in Cebu. He was really my idol because he had a lifestyle which I wanted. Nice cars, traveling around the world, going to the beach, his own beach house. I really wanted that. So when I was working for him, as a marketing assistant, he called me to the office one day and asked me, Jojo, I'm going on a trip to Milano, Italy next month, and I want you to be in charge of the operations in this company until I return. So I was very happy. I said, sure boss, I'll do my best. So he left, and I did my job, I worked hard. After half a month, after a full day's work, I went back to my cubicle at that time, and I was tired. And I imagined my boss, who was in Milano, Italy, in one of those quaint bistro coffee shops, sipping his double espresso while watching the long-haired Italian ladies walk by. And he can do that because Jojo is taking care of business anyway. So I said, wow, if I am working hard now, and if I am loyal to a company, why not work hard and be loyal to myself instead of for someone? My other realization is the harder I work, the richer my boss became. So why not me? That was my turning point.
That was the turning point of doing this business, which is true. And it was thrown around every time, and I think for the presentation today that you are your own boss. And that's kind of, are you excited to be your own boss? I've heard someone said that's a good news. You are your own boss. That's also the bad news because you are your own boss. So discipline is very important in business, right? And no, Miss L, I just wanted to ask, what were the challenges, the initial challenge or the challenges that you faced in having from a bank manager you get paid every 15-30? But dito, it was made mention, you get paid through commission. Alam naman natin, kung walang benta, walang komisyon. Was that a challenge for you?
First and foremost, that's really a challenge for me. That's the reason I studied the business first, no? So eventually, I just learned, I found out that the more effort that you put in, the higher is your income. But in the bank, even though I work 14 to 18 hours, the same income that I will be expecting every 15 and 30th. But in the bank, we have a same every 6 months and end of the year bonuses, right?
Yes.
So that's mid-year, 13, 14, 15 month bonus in the bank. But here in Manulife, it's a monthly bonus. Every month, there's a bonus here. So the more effort that you put in, the higher. You will be in control of the amount in the check that you'd like to give yourself every 15 days. So if you say that you would like 150,000 this 15th day, we have a formula for that, and the person who is inviting you can help you on that.
Yes. Ang kagandahan, because it was also made mention earlier, 117 years. So I am sure Manulife has a secret formula already on how to be successful. And in business, it's very important to understand, my partners, do they have a blueprint on how to be successful? And that's a blueprint that you've actually also saw and took, right? Because in my record here, it says you are a Rookie Superstar awardee. Tell us more about it. In the first 3 months. In the first 3 months of Manulife, Glenna, how was it like? And tell us how you were able to save 15 lives.
Yeah. So, basically, as a part-timer, as a teacher, no, without having sales background, it was a bit tough for me, I believe, Sir Mac. Kay saon man ipagpaninda, mauwaw man kumutuol, mauwaw ko maningil, mauwaw gyud ko tan-aw bisag maestra ko, mauwaw jud ko ana. But then again, I was looking for an extra income. And the purpose or the mission of this is great, that when I approach to people, I'm just approaching them because I'm helping them. You know, on my first client, kato kong first client, maojud to siya nagdali na ako nga license ko, Sir Max. So, siya na, kalusa mo na yung license, okay, magpa-insure na ako. But on the very first day that I got my license, approaching to her was tough still. Kay, marunong naninda, magyuguan ng kahimtanga, oy. But then again, I remembered my husband told me, Mai, you're approaching her because you're helping her. And there's nothing to be ashamed of. And then from then, Sir Mac, that was really what I'm holding for. I'm approaching people, I'm reaching people, I'm messaging them because I want to help them and their families. So nawala sa una-una nga ay namaligya man di ay ko because I had a mission. And then eventually, it went smooth.
I like the idea because when you do the mission, the commission follows. And when you turn selling to helping, it makes a big difference.
Yes,
Wonderful.
definitely.
I've read, Joe, that you are in the industry for 30 plus years. Am I correct? 30 plus years.
33 years, I think.
33
More
years of
than
your
most of
life.
the people here were born. Not yet born, I think.
Yeah, 33 years of your life. You've been in Manulife. And I mentioned earlier that Best Dad Award. Tell us about time freedom. What does it mean to you and how did it impact you in this career?
Oh yes, one of the number one perks for me in this business is the flexibility of time. As I always shared even before, I've never ever missed any recital, nor play, or graduation, or any activity that my daughter had when she was going to school. All because I had the flexibility of time with Manulife. I did not have to ask my boss. I don't have a boss because I am my own boss. I don't have to ask permission to take a leave. There was one time she was hospitalized. It was I who was there taking care of her. Because, again, I had the flexibility of time. But in addition to that, because some of us here, like me before I joined Manulife, we were thinking about the kind of pay we have. Aside from the flexibility of time, it's the commission-based income. Now, the common misconception here is that, commission, kung wa ko'y halin, wa ko'y income. Correct. Pero kung daghan kag halin, daghan kag income. Yes. So, it's a transition between an employee mindset, which is salary-based, to a business owner's mindset, which is income based on your activity. So, if you want to be more comfortable with that and have no income ceiling with commission, then this is the highest paying hard work, very honest. The harder you work, the higher you pay. The lesser you work, the lower your pay. But in Manulife, we have a system for that. We can help you earn the commission that you want, whether it be 40,000, 80,000, 100,000. We have a recipe for that. If you follow the recipe, you will get the result you want. But if you don't follow it, then you will not get it. It's just as simple as that. So I'd like to assure you that if you have an income goal, there is a recipe for you to get it, and we can help you there.
And while we're in the topic of time, I was just realizing that LL made mention about 14 hours, 18 hours working in the bank. And I know a couple of friends, I know a couple of friends also are also in the bank who also do the same. So having said that, I'm sure vacation was really difficult while you were in a position of working 14, 15 hours. But now that you're in Manulife for the last, 30 years, 2 decades?
22 years.
22 years. How many countries have you visited?
Yeah. For my 22 years here, I visited already, courtesy of Manulife, travel in style and free.
Free.
20 countries already.
20!
Different countries.
Wow. And these are all absolutely
I just
free.
came from Korea
Wow, you're fresh.
last night.
안녕하세요.
I just arrived.
안녕하세요. Yeah.
Kimchi.
That's where the kimchi is. Okay. So 20 years, 20 countries. But sometimes, dugay naman ka, so manang naka-travel ka. But you, Glenna, were you able to travel? I mean, how long have you been with Manulife? Naka-travel na ba?
I'll be in my second year for this coming August, Sir Mac. Yes, and as you start with Manulife, Manggod, you will be asked with your dream board. You know, you have to craft your dream board. And as a beginner, as for me, Sir Mac, murag, kinsa raman ko, ano raman ko, pero nangandoy jud ko nga maka-travel, no? Nangandoy ko nga makasakyanan, nangandoy ko nga makailong, kay wa man ko ilong sa una. So, even, Sir Mac, ay katawa, sir. Yes, tinuod yun na, sir. So, as starting, Sir Mac, I have this dream board. I'm sure ka nang nag-invite sa inyo, hanaan ay dream board, no? So, naadri ako rhinoplasty nga dream. Bata pa ko na, nag-dream na ko, ana. Naadri akong dream to travel local, international. Naadri akong dream, makasakyanan, makakondo, makabalay. And you know what, Sir Mac? In less than 2 years with Manulife, I was able to achieve all those dreams. I went here riding my own car from Manulife.
Wow!
I'm here in front of you, breathing from my nose from Manulife, you know. I've been to Taiwan and local destinations with my husband. And having a business with condo and currently applying for a house and lot courtesy of Manulife.
Wow. And that goes to show that you don't need the tenure to have all that. What you need is the effort. Is that correct? Because all those things in 2 years is awesome. And compared to where you were before for 7 years, correct?
Definitely, Sir Mac. Like, as a teacher, we're known for being good. You know, murag, given na nga you work overtime and paid.
What is that called?
Good is like really hustle hard. Yes, Ma'am El. So, given na nga work ka on weekends, like, if dili ka mo work on weekends and if dili ka mo work part-time, dili ka nindot nga maestra. Dili ka responsible nga maestra. Everything for free. But with Manulife, Sir Mac, everything, all your effort, diba? Tanan-tanan, compensated and even more than what you deserve. Like, makaanak ka, Lord, thank you for bringing me to Manulife.
Now, I did the math. You're about 2 years, 20 plus years, 30 years. If you put them all together, that's roughly about close to 50 plus years or 60 years of experience. Now, I'm pretty sure the question always is, yeah, insurance. Tell us any stories that you could share about an actual help. Because help has been thrown, the word help has been thrown here in this forum. Tell us an experience of an actual help that you did for a client that made you say, this is a career I want to do. Any experience, claims experience or whatnot.
Okay, it brings me back in the day wherein I had a client, a big client. Throughout the years, developed his portfolio until he was covered for multi-millions of pesos. And my attitude at that time was to be a go-getter. You know, you go-getter. You want to get everything as soon as possible. And I was able to do that, make a lot of sales. And one of them was my client, who became a very big client. One time, I got sick. I got sick first. So I couldn't work. When I couldn't work, I stayed home. And I chanced upon a little booklet which was having an article which was entitled Go Giver. Okay, it said Go Giver. It attracted me because I was a go-getter. So when I read that about being a go-giver, it just says there are two seas in the Holy Land, the Sea of Galilee and the Dead Sea. The Sea of Galilee has 1 input and 7 outputs. That's why it's teeming with life. And the Dead Sea has many inputs, but virtually no output. Just gets on getting and getting and getting. I realized that I was a Dead Sea. I kept on getting by being a go-getter. Although it gave me success, but I got burned out. But when I realized that, when I go to my client, I wanted to be a go-giver. So going back to my big client, his wife, who was also my client, passed away, and he became a widower. So after processing the claim, this is where the help as a Manulifer comes in. I went the extra mile on journeying with him because he was very depressed. Okay, this is not Manulife anymore. It's part of my realization when I joined Manulife to go the extra mile and to give more, even if we already paid the claim. And that was me giving more value to my client by helping him throughout his depression because of the loss of his loved one.
Wow. Now that's an interesting story because earlier when we guys are all seated before the program, we showed videos of how actually the products of Manulife transform lives. And I'm sure, El, you have a story also maybe you could share with all of us that made all the trips, all the commission. Yes, I like it, but what is a significant thing that you could share that made you say, this is what I want to do?
Okay. So I don't want to mislead the public. This is not an easy job. No? Eventually, on my second year, I'm almost giving up. Because ang ako mga friends, gi-block na ko sa Facebook. They're no more my friends, no? But they still like the post that I had. So what made me decide to stay is because my first claim is my tita. She accommodated my sale because para lang na ako'y sale on that first year. But 5 months after she died, she's my first claim. And eventually, because of that Manulife claim, all the 6 children still enjoying the lifestyle that she provides for the family because of that claim. And second one, I have also a client, she's still with us. She's a doctor by profession, paying for Manulife for 2 years only and diagnosed for a breast cancer. So I was thinking, if I may leave a legacy of my own in this life, I'd like to be here in Manulife, protecting lives and giving continuous income to the people that I love to work with and do so much.
Wow, that's a wonderful story. Thank you for sharing that. Because rare could you find a career where you could actually fulfill, provide for your family's needs and wants, and to fulfill what everybody wants, which is a life of significance. And an early career like you, Glenna, any stories of life of significance that you could share, apart from making a difference in your own family?
Yeah, well, Sir Jojo and Ma'am LL shared of how they were able to fulfill the promise, to the families of their clients. As for me, I'm gonna share the opposite, Sir Mac. So this is really a hard-learned story for me in my career. Last December of 2022, I insured this co-teacher of mine, and after the application, she told me, "Sure, kanang inikabot sa ako ang sister from Japan, among i-insure ang among parents." And then I said, "Sige, sure thing, just message me kano sa abot ang imuhang teacher." That was my kumbaga first failure because I could have made follow-ups. 7 months after, her sister came home from Japan. And that was July of 2023. And the same month, July of 2023, their mother was diagnosed with stage 4 gallbladder cancer. I failed ultimately, like that time, Sir Mac, I could what should ko'y silbi as a financial advisor? I really thought of that. I had a lot of what ifs. What if ni-push ko, kay nagplano naman to sila? What if I made follow-ups every month antod nisugod sila? What if I was able to insure their mother basin mas nilaban ng ilahang mama because na ay kwarta? But unfortunately, 2 months after, their mother died. And I was just there, dumbfounded, like, "Glenna, you're such a failure. You were not able to help this family." I really apologized to the client. "Ma'am, I'm so sorry, teacher. I failed you. I was not able to fulfill my role sa tibuok nimong family." Gladly, they take it nicely, rapod. Like, "It's okay, sir. Kami raman pud adto di unya-unya sad namo." But by that time, Sir Mac, I could have stopped kaya naulaw ko sa tinuod lang. But that lesson actually made me work even harder, Sir Mac. That when I insure a single person in the family, I made sure to ask about the whole family members. So
the significance and difference was real. And these are wonderful stories because the reality is we presented here today the perks, the trips, the commission. But what really make you stay, if I may say, is that those stories that you bring along with you and the commitment to continue to pursue it. And that's nice. Like, why don't we give them a big hand for all these? Because actually, they always say OFWs are modern day heroes. And I'd like to, hearing your stories now, I'd like to believe life insurance advisors are also modern day heroes. We make sure, you guys make sure that there's food on the table. You guys make sure future are given and guaranteed. And I'm sure a lot of us here listening to your stories and how we could start and all that will have second thoughts. What were your second thoughts before you started the career? What I understand we could all say that now because of the successes you've experienced. But when you were there sitting, like one of us, what was the it that made you say, you know what, I want to try it? Was it just money? Was it like? Tell us more about it. And what was your apprehension? What was your fear when you started 33 years ago?
33 years ago, my only reason to join Manulife was for money. I really wanted money, not later but sooner, not some but a lot. That was my reason. So, and then I joined Manulife. Now, when I joined Manulife, my apprehension was that I was thinking if it is really Manulife that's gonna give me what I want, me. So it turned out that my challenge when I was new was that it was a very low level of belief yet that Manulife is the answer to all my questions about attaining my goal. Therefore, since that was my mindset, I was susceptible to a lot of sidelines. Alright, so a lot of distractions. And if I were going to go back in time, I would correct that by saying I would have gone in 100% at the very beginning. So that's going to be my tip for everybody if you decide to join Manulife. My action then of getting into a lot of sidelines was the lack of belief that Manulife can give me all. In other words, if you have a lot of sidelines, it's true that you can get income from them, but a little bit. If you put it together, yeah, just a little bit. You're a jack of all trades, master of none, but you have a little income. But once you put in your 100%, you will get back twofold, three times, threefold, 6 times, or even 10 times.
And for you, I'm sure it was also similar because you saw your pay differently. But if you were to go back and just like what Jojo made mention, if you could advise the young Angelica Gornez 20 plus years ago, what advice could you give? Because I'm sure some of them were thinking, yeah, I could relate to LL or Miss Angelica, but really, these are all my questions. But what could you?
Okay, 22 years ago, I'm in the bank, but I'm also active on the networking.
Okay.
So that's a business, right? So, but in the networking, I have to shield out my own money before I earn. Ya, ako ra ba ganahan ko maliki sa una pero mao ko maningil. Ini maningil awayon man tao eh. So
at least pangutang mo diri niya kay di mo siya
oh,
maningil.
ganahan kay ko anang I was into jockey, asa nang lipstick, Avon, mga networking. I shield out money, I sell. Nya kanira ba yung ganahan gud mo gamit? Inig paningil awayon ta, so I don't want to pursue that kind of business already. I wanted to have a business but I don't have really capital. And then during that time, my husband was terminated from his work.
Oh.
So nobody is driving the front seat of the car. So if I will not do my job as a wife, as a mother, I have 2 kids, I have 1 husband. Budget pa for the second one. That's a joke ha, basig na dire kung ba na.
No. Mercy.
So anyway, I was thinking if Manulife, that's the reason if my Manulife can deliver this much income because ako nang gikwinta ba, my income and my husband is actually connected with the General Milling Corporation. He's a senior mechanical engineer. That's a very good company, but if we're employed man good, nobody, pwede mayon nga, huy, ano ba ako ha? Supervisor ba ako, hinahinaya ko, ay i-terminate. Because if the company does not need you anymore, eventually,
Yes.
mawagtang yun ka. So, that's the reason I joined Manulife because I wanted to know if this is for me. I wanted really to have a business without much capital. So I tried.
So it was more of the capital.
Yeah, it's more of a business. Yeah.
Yeah. And a good number of us here are relatively starting their career. Young, just like you, Glenna, no? But again, you jumped into it, you saw things differently. My question now is that you took up a role of leadership, becoming a unit head. Why?
Alright, so as what I have mentioned, Sir Mac, I have been with DepEd for almost 7 years. And for those 7 years, I was always above and beyond. You know, aside from my role as a teacher in the class, I do coaching, mentoring sa mga contests, hosting sa regional, national events. I do all those things. Yet then again, for 7 years, teacher to lang yun akong giabot, Sir Mac. You know, like, I felt like stagnant yun akong career because di ko kaila ani, di ko anak ni ani, di ko kaliwat ni ani. You know? So, after giving everything, murag, day ara lang sa kaday, day sikuan lang sa una day inani inana. And with Manulife, Sir Mac, as I mentioned, I started part-time. And exactly on my first year sa Manulife, my very good senior manager, Sir Gus, where are you? Asaka, hi sir. He told me, Glenn, I see your potential. Resign from your work, commit full-time, and then I'm gonna endorse you to become a manager. And I was like, Sir Mac, what? Sir? Are you serious? Are you sure? 1 year pa ko sa business, part-time pag yung ko nagsugod. You know, dili pa ko hinog kayo. Glenn, you have the potential and you are committed, so why not?
Yeah, so that prompted you to become a unit head. And so again, that's the beauty of business, because in other careers and industry, you have to wait for your boss to either retire or be invited to have meeting in heaven, or for the lack of a better term, no? If they're invited for a meeting in heaven, then you could be the next boss. But here in Manulife, even as early as 2 years, naging manager ka na.
1 year, sir.
1 year lang, sorry,
Yes.
1 year. And then, Elle, you're now a branch head. And Joe, you are an ERH. So the formula of meet, you guys did. You meet people, you sell, and then you also multiply. And then you manage. So last, I think, before we wrap this up, if you could give them a piece of advice before they start their career here. Glenna, we'll start with you. What would it be?
Before I say my final message, Sir Mac, I want to see the hands of those kanang hardworking yun nga people. Let me see. Murag 99.9%, no? Now, do you believe nga tanan hardworking people mo dato yun or mo succeed? Do you believe? Really? Alright. I don't think so. You know? I'm sure you see your neighbors, friends, or mga kaila, grabe man jud kay sila ka-hustle hard. Grabe, kugihan man gyud kay ni siya. Kani si kuya, grabe man jud kay ni kakugihan. But then, wala pa gyud sila ni succeed. Wala pa gyud sila ni dato. Because what? Because of no opportunity. I want you to remember that time when you prayed to God and say, Lord, I want to give my family a great life. Lord, I want to have a good life. Kukihan kay ko, Lord, I can do anything. I can do everything. I just don't have opportunity. I just don't know how. Unsaon ako. Ladies and friends, that opportunity that you have been praying for so long is here. It is here. It is Manulife. And I'm not gonna ask you whether magsugod ba mo or dili. What I'm gonna ask you is that, are you gonna start part-time or full-time? Thank you.
Thank you, Glenna. And And I'm sure there are like you, because what's interesting with what you mentioned earlier, you joined when your husband got laid off. That was a very bold move. From a bank with 1530 with 2 kids, husband got laid off. That's a very bold move. Could you share with them and perhaps your message to them who are right now at that stage of making that bold move, bolder perhaps than your move?
Yeah, okay. I'd like to know lang if, I miss my alma mater, I'd like to know who among you here is from University of San Carlos. San Carlos. Yay! What about from Lapu-Lapu, because I represent Lapu-Lapu branch? Checking attendance lang niya. So, are you happy with where you are right now? Ha? Wala'y naningong. So, how many years are you already with the kind of work that you are doing right now? Because I'd like to let you understand if you are in the right track. Because when I joined Manulife, what strikes me most is sa room pa man mi sa una karon social naman kayong Manulife sa cinema naman, no? So when I joined Manulife 2002 sa room ra niya, pag ko katultos mo, I don't have a car. Nagkalapok-lapok. Mr. Veloso actually invited me over niya. Lain man kayang description ang Manulife na diha. No diha. Yeah. Wa pag ko katultol sa foodland na to sa una niya sa country mall, nagpayong in town ko, naglapok-lapok. Security ko ani gamay. Lapok-lapok akong asa ka man yung life diri. So, in the bank, I approve the loans. But when I applied for the loan, I was declined. Ako ha, dili pwede ang loan ma-release without my signature. But when I'm the one applying, disapproved. So, you can imagine, that was my move na I don't think I'm in the right area where I am right now. And eventually, the reason nga nung 15 companies man ang akong agian before I reached to the partner of my dream, which is Manulife. Because I'm the kind of person, I started working when I was 19 years old. That's the reason I called up University of San Carlos graduates. I started working when I was 19 years old. Onya, I'm the kind of person who says nga, Ma'am, sir, after 5 months, di ko nimo irregular, I have to move for another company. I don't want to kanang waste my beauty and brain and health and fitness. If you're not making me into promotion or i-increase ang sweldo, that's the reason nga, ngayon silang I will study first, then of course I have to study also if I will be with you for the next how many months. So I'd like to let you understand, know what you really wanted in life, no? I know nga, basin lang nangita pa mo ka-fam, para makadalar ta, ay nalang na-account, kaya nga fam na may magpabuhi karon. Kita rin mo buhi sa afam. It's not the other way around. So you have to know whatever is your heart's desire. So I think you prayed last night, did you? Yes. I think this is the reason why you're here. Because somebody had seen the criteria or the best qualities that you have. Not everybody is invited. That's the reason why isud ng because likuranan nga des imong kilid. No, because they are not invited. You're here for a purpose. Because katong ingon ni Glenna, not everybody who's working so hard will be able to be successful. You have the right vehicle, you have the right profession that you may be in control of your income. So, eventually, Manulife is offering you that opportunity. Opportunity only knocks once. You have to note that dili na siya mobalik kasi mabiyaan mo sa train. The train is in front of you. Ride the opportunity and let me tell you nga, you not be working so hard here. We will teach you how to work smart. Manulife has a very good training to close the deal within the next 20 minutes. How many minutes do you have in 1 hour? How many hours in a day? How many days in a year? Manulife says to close 1 case every 20 minutes. Would you like that? So the reason that I'm here because I'm still closing 1 case every 20 minutes. Come and join us and be free.
Wow, wonderful. So it's interesting, no? 20 plus years ago, she applied for a loan and was declined. Now, she declines to apply for any loan. She pays things in
To
cash.
add, Sa una manggod, nakasuway mo anang maghuwat mo sa jeepney nga, ini ka mag-ulan, papisikan lang gali mo sa driver, no? Ako, nakasuway ko I told myself, bukas luluhod ang mga tala. I wanted to see myself driving my own vehicle. And in Manulife, it gives me the chance. I bought 4 cars here in my car.
But be
I
careful
do my
kay
own car
masing
now.
ining-agi niya bisikan ta. Ayaw po. Pasak yun. Dili bisikan. Alright, alright. Now, Joe being the most tenured on the panel and perhaps the highest in terms of growth, because right now you have a manpower of about close to 400 spread all over the Philippines. So you practically have made impact on different people moving forward. What can you tell all of us today and see the vision that you now have?
All right. So yes, the reason why I got into management and leadership is, first of all, it's because of, my first reason was money. Then throughout the years, your motivation changes. Like, if it was money before, the next year is more money. Okay, but actually it really changes. Like, you want to live a life, instead of material success, you now want significance. However, if you add more value to the general public or the market, helping more Filipinos, adding more value translates to money as a result. So for many of us who are new here, the line of thinking I got to get into management was the line of thinking of this guy whose name was J. Paul Getty, an American billionaire long time ago, who addressed a crowd and said, which would you rather have? 100% of your own effort or 1% of the effort of 100 people? Which would you rather have? So, if your answer is the 1%, then that is what we call leverage, and it's the best way to reach out to many people for our advocacy of helping Filipino families. Our business is so beautiful, it creates money when there was none, and it gives it at the time that the families need it the most. So we want to spread that advocacy, and through the exponential line of thinking by helping a lot of people, that is how we can reach them faster. So now, I would like to, as the parting shot, I would like to share with you that this business, as you think about it now, is actually 10 times harder in actuality. 10 times harder, but 1,000 times worth it. Okay, so we're not gonna sugarcoat it for you. It's hard, but it's 1,000 times worth it. My parting shot would be in the form of a story. Can I talk to you heart to heart? You're here because somebody invited you. I believe you're here because it's part of your destiny. Today is your date with destiny. It's in front of you right now. My parting shot will be in the form of a story, and this is the story. Some of you have heard it already, but for me, it always inspires me. It's the story of the eagle, whose nest is very high above a cliff. So there was a story of this eagle who laid an egg on the nest. And the nest and the egg fell down. It fell down to a chicken coop. The egg did not break, so the hen, the mother hen said, "Uy, ang akong egg." So iyang lay. He laid on the egg until it hatched, and out came an eagle. But the eagle grew up as a chicken because he thought he was a chicken. And the chicken went around with the other chicks, looking for worms, flying not so high, but that eagle who thought he was a chicken was different. He was colored black, and he knew he was different from the others. So one day, one day, there was a big shadow that flew over. And the eagle who thought he was a chicken said, "Ma, unsa na siya nga bird? Nindot lagi kayo. It's elegant, it's majestic, it looks so powerful." And the mother hen said, "Nak, mauna ang eagle. That's the king of the birds. But don't you ever think you can be like him because you're a chicken?" But the story doesn't have to end that way. So now I'm here talking to you. You have the power to decide what your future would look like. What's your obstacle? There are voices of the chicken and the voices of the eagle inside you. Inside you, you have a dream, something that you've always wanted. But maybe somewhere along the line, you forgot about it, or you found out it's too hard, or many excuses. And the voice of the chicken is saying, "You cannot do that. What makes you think you can do that? Look what happened to so-and-so. Look what happened to them. You're a shy person. Daghan kay problema. Di mo kaya." That's the voice of the chicken. And the voice of the eagle says to you, "You can do it. If these other people have done it, why not you? Bring your dreams to life. Do it now." Question: whose voice will you listen to? The voice of the chicken or the voice of the eagle? Listen to the voice of the eagle and allow you to soar high. It's about time. Do it now. Join us. Thank you very much.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give it up for Glenna, Angelica, and of course Jojo Veloso. Soar like an eagle and join Manulife and become life champions. A big round of applause to our panelists sharing their stories of then and now. And I'm sure all of us are now excited. Thank you so much, guys. Let's give them another round of applause. And of course, we're now coming to a close to this special event.